Good morning, comrades. It is Wednesday, the 26th of May, 2021. My name is Jeff Barawa. You are watching Good Morning Comrade. I am also here with my co-host Flick, who has decided all morning to just like jump all over me, smash his head into every possible thing that he can, and just generally create havoc. So let's hear it for Flick. We love Flick. He's great. I got a bunch of great stories for you today. I got a treat actually for us. We have all brand new Channel 5 video that I want to watch. Channel 5 is sort of like it's Andrew Callahan's program where he sort of like does like gonzo style journalism. And this time he went to a White Lives Matter rally, which is going to be interesting. We also have a couple of stories. We have a story on the actually Channel 4, WWL Channel 4 did an exclusive investigation on the Hard Rock Hotel, which crashed in downtown New Orleans. It's kind of a local story, but it's definitely got some work safety implications. It turns out the Hard Rock designer, this is the headline, ignored calls for more steel supports. They basically made they workers were calling for the building to be more secure from the workers and from inspectors. The owner basically said, screw it. And what ended up happening was the building collapsed and murdered workers, injured workers. 3 people were stuck in that building for months after it collapsed. So we'll get into that. Also, Caitlyn Jenner claims she beat the Soviets, so she can also beat textbook cancel culture. All that and more on today's Good Morning Comrade. What is up, folks? We got G Wolf in the chat saying good morning to Flick. Good morning, Flick. Free market, baby. Oh yeah, love that free market. Love that free market. But yeah, that it definitely costs people their lives this time. But you know, it's okay because freedom, right? It's okay because freedom. The lights aren't on. There we go. They're still not on. There they are. Perfect. All right, folks. So let's get started. Let's take a look. We have the article right here. This is from WWL Channel 4 News in New Orleans. Headline: Engineer Hard Rock Hotel designer ignored calls for more steel supports. A move used to use thinner decking could have worked if the builders had extra supports, a structural engineer tells Bill Hammer. Let's take a look.
For a year and a half ago, the Hard Rock Hotel collapsed, killing 3 people.
Look at that. That happened, like, I remember me and my friends were just like watching, like in horror, as just a part of, a huge part of the, and this is in downtown New Orleans. My brother, Scott, of this show, worked at a place like right across the street from here. Um, this is bananas that this happened. And like it's been sort of like considered to be such a dangerous building like the building is still standing. It's still like this like crushed, like broken down, um like husk of a building that's just sitting there, and the city hasn't really figured out how to uh get rid of it. um so it's just kind of sitting there, a blight on everything. But anyway, um let's watch on.
And since then, the 18-story building site has been cleared.
But eyewitness investigator David Hammer kept looking into what could have caused the deadly disaster and found what one expert calls crucial engineering mistakes.
Over the last year and a half, I've gathered tens of thousands of pages of documents from the Hard Rock Hotel construction project, trying to understand what went wrong when the structure collapsed on
Look at
October
that.
12th.
Look at that. Look at that. Move that. Like, watch this.
Construction project, trying to understand what went wrong when the structure collapsed on October 12th.
This road right here is Rampart, I believe. It's one of the biggest biggest kind of thoroughfares.
2019. There were structural plans, plan reviews by the city, detailed shop drawings, project specs, plan revisions, emails about the changes, minutes from construction meetings, and photographs of the project as it was being built. I reviewed them all with Michael Bradbury, a structural engineer in California who's been designing buildings and reviewing building plans for decades.
Capable of catching most things because I've just got the experience and have actually designed buildings myself.
And what he caught while reviewing the Hard Rock Hotel's design led him to this conclusion.
It all adds together. I don't think there's one failure. I think there's a whole bunch that contributed it.
But one major failure did stand out, something a member of the construction team even called a mistake in an
Oopsie doopsie.
email. It involves the decking, the metal pans where heavy concrete is poured to form the upper floors of the hotel. The city permitting office approved structural plans in 2018 that called for a thicker, stronger type of decking, 16-gauge deck. But the Hard Rock plans changed in February 2019 to a thinner kind of metal decking, 22-gauge deck.
So the way to remember for viewers out there is the bigger the number, the thinner the deck.
The thinner 22-gauge deck is also cheaper. The builders
that you see, G Wolf mentioned the free market. I mean, why wouldn't the Hard Rock people, if you're the developer here, use the cheaper gauge? I mean, like, that's the free market, and that's the lowest price. You're making a logical decision as a construction person. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything else about decking, but that sounds cheaper to me. I'm buying that, right? Of course. Why would you buy the expensive stuff? You can get the cheap stuff. It's cheaper.
never informed the city about that major change, and then they made what Bradbury calls a major error.
And the 22-gauge one, that they failed to add more supports to it. That's why they got in trouble.
Now, here's why adding more supports is so critical. Bradbury said it's like the engineer switched out a board for paper. If you place the board between supports this far apart, it holds with extra pressure. But if you put paper there, it collapses with pressure unless you add more supports.
Wow. So, like, it's literally just a word, like, oh my God. It's that much thinner? What was it? It was 16 gauge versus 22 gauge. $16 gauge. What was it? Bedding. Huh.
You can see it in this graphic. The metal decking needs to hold heavy concrete. Then, when the concrete sets, the floor will need to hold heavy loads. A thicker, stronger metal deck will be able to hold up to those heavy loads with 26 feet between support beams. But a thinner deck will need those support beams to be closer together, no wider than 24 feet at the most, or a heavy load could cause the deck to sag or worse.
They've got some 26-foot spans, which the deck wouldn't have been able to handle.
The deck supplier actually tried to warn the Hard Rock construction team about this. I found this email exchange from January.
Wow, even the store that they bought it from was like, I don't know about this idea. Like, you're buying all this decking from us, but that was pretty dangerous. Most extension cords are 16 gauge wire. 22 would catch on fire. Oh, because it's too thin. Okay. Okay, extension cord is 16 gauge. How much thinner is 22? I'm just trying to think about what they would look like compared to one another. I don't know how to find the different widths, but having a pretty much but how thin is 22 gauge is I guess what I'm trying to ask here. How thin is that? Like, if about a half as thin, holy crap. So okay. So that's almost like a USB wire thickness. Okay. So an extension cord, this is an XLR cord. This is one of my mic cords. This is like a thicker gauge cord, and this is like a USB cable. That's probably what you're talking about, huh? That kind of a difference in thickness. You probably can't see this very well, but that's huge. That is huge. That's a big. I mean, that is a big sort of difference. Holy crap!
2019, where the deck supplier, New Millennium Building
and this
Systems,
is sheet metal that holds up concrete. And the reason that the Hard Rock collapsed is because the decking was too thin. So 16 gauge is 1/16 inch. Oh wow, a 32nd of an inch. So it is exactly half. So yeah, okay. So it's not. So even the 16 gauge isn't a full inch, but I mean not necessarily that it has to be, but it's a lot stronger. Sheet metal. Okay, I'm learning so much about sheet metal right now.
Sends the Hard Rock team prices for the heavier deck. The deck supplier says the Hard Rock team can, quote, change the deck back to a lighter gauge as long as they add more supports. But a steel contractor on the Hard Rock team responds that the engineer who designed the Hard Rock, James Heaslip, had made what he called a mistake in his calculations. They decided to go back to the
oopsie doopsie, I accidentally, destroyed this building, broke part of downtown, and murdered several people. My bad. Oops. Sorry.
The lighter deck. That would have been fine if Heaslip had added more support beams. But Bradbury compared the old plans that called for heavier decking with the ones they ended up using to install lighter decking. And he said the number of support beams in the areas colored in purple and the large spans between those beams are identical. Bradbury found other design problems too. He said more support beams were needed for a cantilevered balcony. He said
so that's why, let's just go back a little bit. When you see this all bent down, because it's the paper and not the board, the clipboard. It's the concrete that they put on here on this decking, this sheet of metal right here is too thin. So when you put the concrete on it and you don't have enough of these little support beams, these support beams here, they just give out and it bends and folds like a piece of paper. That's crazy.
For a cantilevered balcony. He said the concrete on that balcony should have had steel rebar in it, something to reinforce the concrete to keep it from pulling apart.
Bending.
But the plans stamped by Heaslip don't call for rebar there. And the balconies did indeed pull apart from the core of the building.
I believe the engineer is responsible for it because he designed it. He should have known. Mr. Heaslip should have known about that.
Bradbury has worked as a plan reviewer for the cities of Austin and Denver. He said he would always check the structural drawings to make sure each building was designed properly. But the city of New Orleans has no record of its plan reviewers ever questioning the Hard Rock structural design.
It's unique because they're just letting the engineer do what they want.
So rebar is like pieces of metal in there that would essentially keep that concrete from sagging, right? So like essentially having like either like a big rod or like little smaller rods in there to reinforce, like to sort of keep that concrete from sagging like that. That would also have been necessary to kind of keep that whole thing from falling apart.
It's the wild, wild west, and that's not the right way to do things. You lose trust in a city real easily.
Jared Munster was the New Orleans permitting director when the Hard Rock got its permit. He said the city has never had any structural engineers on its staff to review plans.
During that plan review
What the hell, dumbass?
process, it is certainly part of that review to look at structural issues, but it's not traditionally been the city's role to second guess the engineer.
But in the case of the metal decking on the Hard Rock, the city never even had that chance.
There was no way that the plan review section of safety and permits could know what got changed in the field if nothing was ever presented to the city for review.
OSHA cited Heaslip for serious violations for under-designing support beams and exceeding maximum spans for supports at the cantilevered balcony. But he is challenging those findings and still awaits a hearing. David Hammer, Eyewitness News.
That
Heaslip's
is
case was
wild.
transferred to an OSHA review judge in Atlanta back in March. He sent us this statement through his attorney, though. Quote, "We have denied and are contesting all allegations of fault and negligence asserted in the legal proceedings related to the Hard Rock Hotel collapse."
We didn't do nothing wrong. Everything was fine. We did our best. We tried our hardest. We were just, building a building over here. It just collapsed. We weren't negligent. It's nobody's fault. It was an act of God.
And we stand behind our company's track record of designing projects that meet applicable engineering
This
standards.
dude right here. What an absolute villain. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit, dude. Wow. All right. GOP's Barry Moore at the border, 100% selfish reasons. Okay, who sent me this? I don't know who Barry Moore is. Low IQ Barry Moore. This is from Ginny. All right, I trust Ginny. I'll play it. Who's Tony Doherty? I don't know who these people are.
Now, I have been firmly assured that the guy you're about to see he's not a comedian from a late night talk show host. This is not a sketch. This is, unbelievably as it may seem, a real Republican representative, Barry Moore. Now, if you know anything about this guy, who he represents, any significant political achievements.
Why does the developer look so evil? Because he is evil. That's the easiest question in the world. He's like he's like a little freaking Satan that comes, not this guy, of course, but like the guy that was talking about, oh, what did we do wrong? I don't know what happened. What happened? Yeah, that dude literally is just like looking to get out of anything. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt this.
Barry Moore. Now, if you know anything about this guy, who he represents, any significant political achievements, just some details on his career, we would really appreciate it because we're just struggling to believe this is for real. I mean, I'll set it up for you. He goes to the border and basically self-owns himself. I mean, do politicians just not listen to their own words Are they lost inside their own heads?
Yeah.
And no one's even putting them under any pressure. He's just talking to his phone. I was always led to believe that those who are representatives, they're people we should look up to. They always have words that we can hang on to. They go down in history, and we remember them with fondness. I mean, this guy, I've just got a cynical face. This guy's a representative. What's he representing?
Is he going to play the video, or is he just going to talk about
Tools?
Okay, guys, Congressman Brady Moore. I'm in El Paso this morning. We're visiting the border wall, and behind me, I want you to see, can you see the size of this facility? This facility here simply houses children that are unaccompanied coming to this country, and then our agencies are trying to figure out if they have a sponsor in this country, where to send them. That's obviously going to be a huge, huge issue going forward. How we manage these children, there's thousands of them. I think last month was over 20,000 unaccompanied children. The numbers are going through the roof. But here's the most frustrating thing for me. I get here this morning. I'm your congressman. I represent 700,000 or 800,000 people in the districts around the country. I'm just Alabama 02. They're telling me I can't go in to see what's going on unless I COVID test. Well,
All right, what a fucking baby, man. What a fucking baby, dude. Like, oh, they want to give me a COVID test. I have to get COVID. Like, I have to get COVID tested to go into this densely populated facility of children that we are actually detaining it. Mostly because we don't want the COVID to spread here. It's just a basic precautionary measure. What a baby, dude.
The Biden administration is about to let 2 million people this year pour into this country. 200,000 last.
He's first off, he's talking about two entirely different things. First, he's talking about he's essentially making an excuse for there being a for being child prisons. He seems to be totally fine with that. He wants to go in and check it out, apparently, see how cool the child prison is. The problem that he has is not that there's children just locked up in a cage, with nowhere to go. They just kind of lumped together. His problem is that they want him to do a COVID test before he goes in. What a baby, dude. This is a congressman.
Month invade this nation. We're not COVID testing them. They don't have the vaccines. They're turning them loose in our communities. But your U.S. congressman is being told he can't go observe unless he takes.
How do you know?
COVID test.
How do you know they're not being COVID tested? You're just saying that. You're just saying that they're turning people loose in the country. What are you talking about, dude? That's not how it works.
I'm not taking the COVID test. So I will be.
Oh, he's so brave. I'm not taking a COVID test. I'm gonna make sure that I stand up for my rights to carry and spread COVID-19, brother.
Holding room with 3 or 4 other congressmen and congresswomen who are friends of mine who refuse to take the test on a matter of principle.
It's principle. I am principally. It is deep within my convictions to not take COVID-19 tests. It's something that I've long believed my entire life, that COVID-19 tests are just against my moral code and my moral principles, brother. Yeah, this guy is awesome.
And you don't know if it's going to pop positive, negative, or what. I told him you can shoot my temperature and I'll go. I'm happy to do that, but I'm not taking a test. I can't afford to be quarantined for 2 weeks, not working in my district out here because of some COVID test that may or may not be accurate. And it's frustrating.
What a baby, dude. What an absolute baby. And the other thing that he's saying here, if he tests positive for the test, I'm going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and I can't do that. So I'm just not going to take the test. Which makes less sense because if he's got COVID, he's got COVID, whether or not he takes the test. And it would be better to know if he does have COVID, just in general, even if he wasn't going to be going to this child prison. But he's just saying, well, I don't want to quarantine for 2 weeks. I don't want to be grounded by the government. This dude right here. Holy shit, dude.
This is the facility you really cannot imagine the size and scope, the amount of tax money and
Oh,
resources that
yeah,
the
it's and by the way, child prisons aren't bad because they're prisons for children, and they're a problem because that's where your tax money is going. Now, I have a problem with tax money going into child prisons, sure, and it's not because like the government is spending tax money. Like, it's not an anti-tax position; it is an anti-child prison position.
American people are having to handle because Joe Biden and his administration have created a crisis by stopping construction on Donald Trump's border wall.
Border wall, God, wow, what an absolute gem, dude! What an absolute genius! That guy's awesome. That guy rules. Oh my God. I don't want to get a COVID test because I don't want to be quarantined for 2 weeks, brother. I'd rather carry and spread COVID-19, brother. All right. I'm gonna skip. Well, no, I'm not gonna skip Caitlyn Jenner. I gotta read this one. But then I have a little bit of candy after this, and we can figure out. All right, Caitlyn Jenner says that she beat the Soviets, I guess single-handedly, by being in the Olympics. So she can beat big tech's woke cancel culture. This is from LGBTQ Nation, which it's his first term. Go figure. I mean, like, so in Louisiana, before we get into Caitlyn Jenner, in Louisiana, we had a Congress guy who got elected, who was like running on. This is last November. He was like running on like, I don't believe in COVID, brother. We're gonna have rallies with people with no masks. We're gonna just go wild, brother. Just have these large gatherings of people. And he was like very proud about it. This is up in like Alexandria, which is like northern Louisiana. And he ended up, and he was probably in his 40 at the oldest. 2 kids and a wife. And he died of COVID-19 before he could even take office. Like literally died of COVID-19. I think his name was Luke Letlow. Let me see. Yeah, Luke Letlow. Yeah. Here's the story. Because I remember in like November or something like that, I was helping my brother move from Alexandria. He lived up there. And there were Luke Letlow signs everywhere. Like, there was no way this guy wasn't winning. But yeah, Louisiana Congressman dies from COVID-19. Congress-elect Luke Letlow, who won office earlier this month to represent Louisiana's Northern 5th District, died Tuesday from complications of COVID-19. Letlow was set to be sworn in January 3rd. And then actually, after this, his wife ran for that office and won. So there you go. Go figure. There you go. Oh man, this is good too. I might have to look at this one real quick too. Marjorie Taylor Greene defends anti-Semitic comics by lashing out at gender destruction. That's cool. I'm out of coffee. All right, I got water though. All right. So Caitlyn Jenner says she beat the Soviets so she can beat big tech's woke cancel culture. Sarah Palin could see Russia from Alaska, but did she defeat the Soviet Union at the 1976 Olympics like Caitlyn Jenner? She compared Silicon Valley to the Soviet Union. This is Caitlyn Jenner. She's running for governor, by the way, of California. And no, I'll save that for later. But she compared Silicon Valley to the Soviet Union and claimed that she can beat them because, quote, she took on the Soviet Union and won in the 1976 Olympics, harkening back to when Alaska Governor Sarah Palin claimed that Alaska's proximity to Russia gave her foreign policy experience. Quote, in 1976, I took on the Soviet Union. This is a tweet that she put out. I took on the Soviet Union and won. Today's Silicon Valley monoculture seems to espouse the same values. I will take on big tech's woke cancel culture and will for all and win for all California and America. Time has come to stop silencing our voices. What the hell is she even talking about? Like, she's just, I don't know. When she said she could, she was referring to winning a gold medal in the decathlon in 1976 Montreal Olympics. Like, she's just totally deluded. She's absolutely out of control. She's like running on like the exact same thing that other guy that we just saw was doing, just sort of like running on ignorance and running on fear. And here's what's gonna happen. She's gonna win. Like, no question to me. She's gonna win. Like like if it doesn't happen, like then America's writers have just like screwed up this season. Like she's gotta win, right? Like that's the only logical like season finale, like shock twist ending that would make the most sense. You don't think she has a chance? I do. I mean, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm calling it. Caitlyn Jenner, governor. Neither side likes her. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I hope I'm wrong. Marjorie Taylor Greene defends anti-Semitic comics by lashing out at gender destruction. Clip it. Yeah. Quote me later. That's fine. That's fine. We can say Jeff called it. Swish. Marjorie Taylor Greene defends anti-Semitic comments by lashing out at gender destruction. What is gender destruction? She had to compare mask mandates to the Holocaust to stop critical race theory, socialism, and transgender equality. Republican leadership condemned Marjorie Taylor Greene for anti-Semitic comments she made comparing wearing face masks to the Holocaust, and she lashed back with a bizarre rant about how she needed to trivialize the Holocaust in order to stop critical race theory, socialism, and transgender equality. She's like G. Wolf said. Like G. Wolf said just a little bit ago, that's just like saying words. Well, we have to stop socialism. We have to stop critical race theory. We have to stop transgender equality, which are just like three totally related things, right? It's just like boogie woogie scary words. Vaccinated employee. This is a quote from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Vaccinated employees get a vaccine logo, just like the Nazis forced Jewish people to wear a gold star. She tweeted. This is like yesterday morning. And after the weekend, she said that the House's mask mandate is like when the Jews, quote, were put in trains and taken to gas chambers in Nazi Germany. We covered that yesterday. This is from Kevin McCarthy, like the biggest, like he's basically just going to defend her. Marjorie is wrong, and her intentional decision to compare the horrors of the Holocaust with wearing masks is appalling. The Holocaust is a great atrocity committed in history. The fact that it needs to be shared is deeply troubling. In this statement, he allowed one of the biggest insults possible for a Republican to compare Greene to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, saying that, quote, anti-Semitism is on the rise in the Democratic Party. Wait. And it is completely ignored by Nancy Pelosi. Like, that is hilarious, too. Like Kevin McCarthy is just like saying like, oh, sure, Marjorie Taylor Greene is like just throwing out this horrible like anti-Semitic comparison to the Holocaust, just like Nancy Pelosi, who's, you know, like I got no love for Nancy Pelosi. She's not like a very good leader for the Democrats, I don't find, but she's definitely not just like doing anti-Semitism at any way, like not in the same way that like Green's doing. Holy crap. Yeah. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene again. The media and Democrats are and everyone feeding into this, allowing them to hide the truth with this which is disgusting anti-Semitism within the Democratic Party. Literally, like this is the Nazi that like crying about anti-Semitism. Incredible. At the time when the Socialist Democrats and the Jihad Squad, wow, they're calling them the Jihad Squad now. That's cool. Are supporting terrorists. Hamas and their supporters are attacking Jewish people on the streets of America. It's never been more important now than now to stand up against forced vaccinations and mask mandates that the left is using to discriminate against Americans who refuse to comply. Holy shit, dude. Their attempts to shame, ostracize, and brand Americans who choose not to get vaccinated or wear a mask are reminiscent of the great tyrants of history who did the same to those who would not comply. And everyone feeding into it is allowing them to hide the truth, which is the disgusting anti-Semitism within the Democratic Party. I'm not the anti-Semite. You're the anti-Semite. I'm rubber, you're glue. Bounces off of me, sticks to you. The Democrat Party are the party of division, hate, and critical race theory. Like, quote, in parentheses, pure racism, discrimination, totalitarianism, socialism, globalism, gender destruction, BDS, defunding our police, and Antifa/BLM terrorists. It's just like saying, like she's in a crowd and just like saying like a word and getting a response from the audience, like critical race theory, boo. Totalitarianism, boo. Socialism, boo. Gender destruction. Like she's just like trying out new words for the focus group. I'm sorry, some of my words make people uncomfortable, but this is what the American left is all about, and they are America. They are America last in every single way. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Like literally Nazi shit. Like that's like I'm not sure that she herself is a Nazi, maybe, probably, but like the rhetoric is unquestionably like Nazi shit. Unquestionably. All right, folks. On this point, we have a new Channel 5, Andrew Callahan, and he is at the White Lives Matter rally.
Fucking shit! The fuck out of here, calling me motherfucker! Hey, this is our town, motherfucker!
All right, off to a good start.
Try and take.
If they start shooting, get behind me. Hashtag white privilege.
Breaking news.
What? What does that even mean? Is this like a lib at the White Lives Matter rally, just like protesting it? I guess so. I don't know. What does her shirt say?
Get behind me. Hashtag white privilege.
Breaking news. Breaking news. You're watching Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan.
They assassinated Kobe Bryant. How many people know that? They assassinated Kobe Bryant. They tried to kill Tiger Woods in that car accident recently.
Why?
The Kobe Bryant deal is that he had dirt on the Clintons. I love black people. I love everybody.
Wait.
The Kobe Bryant deal is that he had dirt on the Clintons. I love
on the Clintons.
Why? The Kobe Bryant deal is that he had dirt on the Clintons.
Oh, I didn't know about this like Q position, this incredible Q position that Kobe Bryant was murdered because he had dirt on the Clintons. That's a new one to me. I need to be smartened up on some Q stuff. I guess I'm a little bit behind. Oh, I saw another Q sticker in the neighborhood yesterday, by the way.
Car accident recently.
Why?
The Kobe Bryant deal is that he had dirt on the Clintons. I love black people. I love everybody. We're all God's children.
Isn't this a White Lives Matter rally?
Well, I'll tell you what, this whole thing with the virus, with BLM, with Antifa, that was to hurt President Trump. And the reason that President Trump wasn't back by January 20th, the reason he hasn't been back yet is because he didn't want to have civil war. I think you know where I was on January 6th.
Where were you?
I think you know where I was on January 6th.
Yeah.
Trump is still in
These people say wild stuff, and I love this shirt that this guy's got. Jesus is my savior. Trump is my president. It's got like the American flag with crosses on it. Oh my God. Yeah, I know Andrew went to the Loyola. He started doing the show on Bourbon Street. He's one of our boys, even though he's not from here. I think he's from like Seattle or something. He started this whole thing here. Where's the White Lives Matter rally at, by the way?
was on January 6th.
Where were you?
Where is this at? Huntington Beach, California. Of course. Classic. But this dude's like, you know where I was on January 6th? Come Come on. You knew where I was on January 6th. Don't be ridiculous.
I think you know where I was on January 6th. Trump is still in control of our country.
Where'd you get those shoes from? Those are pretty fresh.
He's got like a
You know where I was on January
trunk.
6th.
His whole
Trump is
entire
still in
trunk is just Trump swag. That's incredible. Home of Tito Ortiz. Exactly right. Yeah, and he's a big Trump guy too. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm going to get some more coffee. I'll be right back.
Control of our country.
Where'd you get those shoes from? Those are pretty fresh.
Those are just champion, being a champion for the Lord. That's it.
Amen. Good for you. See, there's nothing white supremacist about that. That's not a white supremacist message.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
What's the most painful piece of truth that's hurt you?
Guy stealing my home. He falsified a trustee's deed to himself with 7 false representations on it and stole my home. His name is Bill Joyner. He lives in Shady Canyon. He destroyed my family, destroyed my 25-year business, separated and devastated my family. So that answers your question.
Dude sounds like he sucks.
I don't think he's a good guy. In my opinion, he's a bad guy and he's hurt a lot of people. But then again, look what the Democrats are doing to others. The deep state is trying to control the people. They control the banking. They control the countries. They control the Vatican. And I care about our country. I want people to know what's going on.
What's going on is a White Lives Matter rally.
Is that what's going on? Yeah. Oh, okay. I had no idea what was going on. I heard that there was a BLM thing going on. And with that usually comes Antifa. I'm kind of anti-Antifa.
These are the, quote, White Lives Do Matter flyers that Huntington Beach police have said they received a report about from at least one neighborhood.
White Lives Matter rally and counter-protest today in Huntington Beach.
Yeah, it's okay to be white, right? Yeah, I'm not here to be.
Do I need to go back? Did I miss anything good? I want to finish up with this guy. Like, sorry, I want to see this guy again. I can't get enough of this dude.
The Kobe Bryant deal is that he had dirt on the Clintons. I love black people. I love everybody.
What is his flag, by the way?
Isn't this a White Lives Matter?
Oh my
rally?
God! Holy shit! I didn't realize his flag. Did y'all see this? Y'all see this dude's flag? It's literally like a black and white, like all lives matter, with an unborn fetus on it in a heart. Did y'all see that flag?
I'll tell you
Let me
what,
see if I can
this
get a good
whole
shot.
thing with the virus,
It's waving around too
with
much.
BLM, with Antifa.
Well,
That was to hurt President
y'all can
Trump,
see it.
and the reason that President Trump wasn't backed by January 20,
Oh my
the
God,
reason he hasn't
dude,
been
that
back
flag.
yet is because he didn't want to
Holy
have
shit.
civil war. I think you know where I was on January 6th.
Where were you?
I think you know where I was on January 6th. Trump is still in control of our country.
Where'd you get those shoes from? Those are pretty fresh.
Those are just champion, being a champion for the Lord. That's it.
Amen. Good for you. See, there's nothing white supremacist about that. That's not a white supremacist message.
Sometimes the truth hurts.
What's the most painful piece of truth that's hurt you?
Guy stealing my home. He falsified a trustee's deed to himself with 7 false representations on it and stole my home. His name is Bill Joyner. He lives in Shady Canyon. He destroyed my family, destroyed my 25-year business, separated and devastated my family. So that answers your question.
Dude sounds like he sucks.
I don't think he's a good guy. In my opinion, he's a bad guy and he's hurt a lot of people. But then again, look what the Democrats are doing to others. The deep state is trying to control the people. They control the banking. They control the countries. They control the Vatican. And I care about our country. I want people to know what's going on.
This dude
What's
is
going on is a White Lives.
spitting. This dude is just like I don't know. Like when Andrew found this guy, he just found like the juiciest cow that he could possibly get to just milk for content. This is incredible. Like this dude won't stop talking. He's talking about his house being taken away from somebody. He's talking about he's talking about Kobe Bryant being murdered by the Clintons. Like this dude's got some ideas.
Lives Matter rally.
Is that what's going on? Yeah. Oh, okay. I had no idea what was going on. I heard that there was a BLM thing going on, and with that usually comes Antifa. I'm kind of anti-Antifa.
These are the, quote, White Lives Do Matter flyers that Huntington Beach police have said.
Antifa.
These are the
White civil rights are ancestral set of the land. Like this literally looks like a Klan. Yeah. Wait. What? Yeah, that's like actual Klan posters.
The, quote, White Lives Do Matter flyers that Huntington Beach police have said they received a report about.
Okay, so this is what they actually sent out, and that looks exactly the same with the exact same messaging. Holy shit! Yeah, anti-Antifa. Yeah, anti-Antifa. Like, just take off the antis. they cancel out. If you can't tell they're trying to wipe us out of the history books, people seem to something that black people and even Cherokee. Wow, he's talking about Cherokee nations too, trying to wipe out the white people. That's ironic. Say no to cultural genocide. Learn more info at kkknights.com. Holy crap. There's a hotline. You can call it 24/7 fucking white supremacist hotline if you want. That's the number for anybody who like wants to do it. That is nuts, man. That's crazy. That is that is the literal Confederate flag too, by the way. Like the actual Confederate flag, the one that the Confederates like the state of the Confederacy flew. That's the Virginia like modernized version of the battle flag. And that's like some kind of weird version of it. I don't know.
From at least one neighborhood.
White Lives Matter rally and counter protest today in Huntington Beach.
Yeah, it's okay to be white, right? Yeah, I'm not here to be
Where do you even buy this shit from? Like where like I know that like this is kind of a stupid question, but like there's just like white supremacist markets where you could just buy racist stuff, which is just like that's incredible to me.
or anything. I'm just here.
Capitalism is truly a brilliant and wonderful system that you can make that these kinds of things are possible.
For just say everything matters.
So what brought you out here to the White Lives Matter rally?
Oh, I just like the food.
What's your favorite white food?
Fish tacos.
See, why is the media this the problem, bro? This is my friend, and he's out here with a shirt, and that's it. How are we racist?
I don't own a plantation, and the blacks aren't picking cotton. Come on, we're not in the 1860s, where people were getting lynched and hanged. That racism is overblown. I see it firsthand.
See what?
That there's no racism.
How?
I have Mexican friends, white friends, of course. I
Classic.
have black friends. We smoke cigars together, even down here. And I work with Latino guys, fabulous workers. El Salvadorian guys, they're the hardest workers I ever saw. There's no racism. Overblown.
He's like blowing it out of proportion.
Probably the Democrats. Yeah, they have to pull the freaking race card.
It's really sad to see that there's people who are hindering the development and the progress that this country could find if we just unite together and utilize diversity as our instrumental key.
Absolutely, yeah. We wanted to let them know if they try to do this stuff and try
So
to...
this is counter protesters now. And I think probably that woman at the beginning was a counter protester too. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I got the message mixed up, but I don't know. I kind of am identifying people as to whether or not they're a chud as like by whether or not they're wearing a mask. Is that unfair? Except for that one guy that was wearing a bandana. Like he was definitely a chud.
frame it in a white supremacist dog whistly way, we will show up and not allow them to do that. We see through it. Anti-fascist action.
Some liberals want to just pretend like they're not there. Don't give them attention, they'll go away. And that strategy doesn't work.
Fuck racism, fuck Nazis, fuck all that shit. You
He's got
can't
an
make them
ACAB
fucking
skateboard. This dude's got an ACAB skateboard. That rules.
feel comfortable here. You gotta make it feel uncomfortable as fucking possible. That's what we're here for. Best way to make it not
That's an aesthetic right there. That is an aesthetic choice.
Fuck them up.
Hit the far right with the feminist left.
I mean, I'm not against punching Nazis in the face. If you have hate in your heart, you deserve everything that comes to you.
Huntington Beach is full of racists. It's always been full of racists, and they're coming a little bit more mask off these days. So.
We can't have neo-Nazis, we can't have white supremacists, and we can't have Trump supporters coming out here and thinking that they represent America. I'm just here to show my support and solidarity for the Black Lives Matter movement.
Looks like the community really showed out, which is good, and disincentivizing a lot of them. As you can see, they're all kind of cowering along the perimeter here.
So far, I haven't seen any real Nazis or just Nazis in general. Those two peoples with the Trump thing, that's it.
When I heard the KKK was coming, I had no choice. I had to come. But I don't see them that much. There's only a few Trumpers here and there.
Kobe Bryant was assassinated by the Clintons.
This dude is like really committed to it. He must have, I mean, this dude is like standing up. He wants an investigation on the death of the Black Mamba. That's awesome, man. That rules. This guy like sucks, but he's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Fuck you. Fuck your life.
I hope you fucking die, homie, straight up. Fuck you. Fuck everything you represent.
I got attacked. Someone took my hat. Someone took my flags. They just try to cancel you. If they don't like your position, they just attack you and try to cancel you.
He just got smacked like with a skateboard, and like he's complaining about getting canceled. Like that's just like what they automatically go to. Like getting punched in the face is now getting canceled. Getting hit by a skateboard in a scuffle in the street is getting canceled. That's like, this is incredible. Let me go back to this.
Fuck you. Fuck your life. I hope you fucking die, homie, straight up. Fuck you. Fuck everything you represent.
This is what getting canceled looks like, folks.
I got attacked. Someone took my hat. Someone took my flags. They just try to cancel you. If they don't like your position, they just attack you and try to cancel you.
I'm glad that we're moving forward towards a future where these people no longer have a space in our public discourse. But at the same time, it's technically still is their First Amendment constitutional right to be out here and protest whatever they want, no matter how detached or how far from reality they think they are. But also they have to recognize that we also have a right to be out here too and to counter protest and to show our solidarity for their counter ideas.
This crowd became unruly. We saw a lot of those fights breaking out. About half a dozen arrests were made.
No, he got arrested. That dude had a bad day.
So we were here at Huntington Beach and the Nazis decided to show up and ran away, because that's what Nazis do when they're surrounded. And now the cops are protecting the Nazis in their precinct. Free us the Nazi! The police brought them inside.
Free us the Nazi!
Precinct. Free us the Nazi! The police brought them inside, and they are being protected inside by the police. Cops and Klan go hand in hand.
They probably just gave him a ride home, honestly. Like, I don't know. Like my guess is that like that dude probably just got a ride home. Like he got like beat up. I don't know if he's like did any more stuff. But like he probably cried and said, "Police officer, please bring me home."
One militant Trump supporter showed up. He got his ass beat, and now 600 photographers are making content, and now it's going to be 601. Thanks for watching.
That was good, man. Definitely give Channel 5 a follow. Here's a link to that video. God bless, man. I just got to go through the library and maybe even do some old all gas no brakes reacts, because that's just great. That's just great. I do want to do this last little video. We have a couple of minutes left. This is a short one from Gravel Institute. We've been watching a couple of those, but this one is the big dog, Richard Wolff, talking about how capitalism exploits you. I actually looked into getting him to come on the show, and if anybody knows how to make that happen, let me know. I'd like to talk to him. He recently had like a debate with Destiny. He just absolutely bodied him. The sort of like topic was capitalism versus socialism, and like, you know, Destiny, who's like this sort of like debate lord bro or whatever, like tried to just be the most pedantic little shit, and Richard Wolff just basically explained the entire like thought process and history of socialism, the multiple strands of it, while like Destiny just tried to say, well, Soviet Union, bro. Soviet Union. It's been tried and it failed, bro. Like it was really pathetic. But go check that out on the Surfs channel. But here is a video from the Gravel Institute with the big dog, Richard Wolff.
Right now, as you're listening to this, you are being robbed. A chunk of everything your hard work creates is being stolen from you. And it's a system called capitalism that's robbing you. Every day when you check into work for your boss, you are being taken advantage of and stolen from. You are being deprived of the full value of what you contribute. Let me break it down. A capitalist isn't someone in a top hat burning library books to run a misery factory. Anyone who puts forward capital, money, to set workers in motion becomes thereby a capitalist. That is to say, they're acting as a capitalist. And what's their goal? People will tell you it's innovation or competition, but down the real world, it's pretty simple. Capitalists have one goal, and that goal is to turn a profit. Pursuing profits.
Bingo. Like nothing, literally nothing else matters except returning a profit. Whether you feed your family, whether you have a house to live in, whether you have a car to even drive to work, like, only matters insofar as how it can like turn a profit for your boss. Like, that's literally the entire motivation.
To accumulate money is just how capitalism works. That's the nature of the beast. It's the single impulse of capitalism. That doesn't make capitalists personally greedy, though some might be. We're not even talking about good or evil here. Capitalists need to maximize profit to the exclusion of all other considerations, or they'll get eaten up by capitalists who are smarter or more ruthless than them.
That is 100% correct. That is, like, it's literally not about like who's going to heaven, who's going to hell, what's in their hearts or whatever, because like nothing could matter less. Like, it is a cold systemic logic of survival. And that's basically the logic of capitalism.
It's the jungle law of the
jungle
market.
law of the market.
So
there you go.
capitalists need profit to survive. But where does this profit come from? And that's where you come in. Literally, profit comes from you. Here's a little thought experiment. Meet Harold. Harold has a chain of buildings full of kitchens, full of ingredients. But Harold doesn't know how to make a burger himself. How does Harold get someone to make enough burgers that he can sell them and turn up profit? It's not a trick question. He pays you because you know how to make really good burgers. The money he uses to pay you is what we call capital. That's money used to set production into motion. Let's say Harold spent $1,000 buying all the ingredients in the restaurant. And after you worked for a few weeks there, turning the ingredients into burgers, they brought in $3,000. Not bad. You added $2,000 worth of value to the ingredients. But wait, you don't get all the money because Harold now has $3,000 on his hands. $1,000 of that is just making up for the cost of the ingredients. And if you were paid for the full value of your labor, you'd be making $2,000. But then Harold would only be breaking even on the burgers, and he needs to make a profit in order to survive. So Harold does not pay you for the full value of your labor. Maybe he pays you just $1,000 of the value you produced. Maybe he pays you $1,500. No matter what, you've been stolen from. You spent more of your labor than you were compensated for. But here's the dirty truth. The story doesn't end with you and Harold. This process plays out across your city or town, your state, the country, the entire world. The rich get richer and the little guy barely gets by. We call the process, a boss is stealing from you, exploitation. We don't mean that in an emotional sense about how we feel about it, but something that's actually a documented economic phenomenon. The gap between how much the worker produces and how much they get paid. Exploitation is a universal feature of capitalist economies, and it never ends. The system requires more and more exploitation, paying workers less, making them work more, or making them more productive without increasing their wages. When you see in the newspaper that a corporation's recording record profits, that is what they are doing. Your hard work is producing more value, but you're not getting enough compensation in return. There are tens of thousands of Harolds out there, but billions of people just like you. You and Harold are two different types of people. You belong to two different classes. There's a capitalist who owns the means to produce goods and services, and there's the workers who only have their own labor to survive on. The capitalists appropriate the value that the workers' labor creates and keep it for themselves. And you are not immune from it. At any job you work at, the condition of your employment is that you produce more by your labor than you get paid. So in the capitalist system, no one is paid what they're worth. All profit is value extraction. And that means that all profit is theft from you. This is Richard Wolff, professor of economics at the New School University for the Gravel Institute.
There you go, folks. There you have it. Breaking news: profit is theft. I think that's gonna be it for us today. I think we're gonna go ahead and end the stream here. I can send a little baby raid to somebody. But let's see who's on Twitch. Otherwise, go check out Andrea over at if she was on Twitch, I would be rating her every day, but or most days at least. But you know how it is. But anyway, screw it. I'm just gonna end it. Let's wrap it up. All right, folks. Wait, Amazon just bought MGM. What does that mean? Like Amazon bought like the studio? AMC going crazy? Man. Bye, Gary. I'll talk to you later. You're having too much fun over there. All right. I'm just going to end it. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.